Okay guys, so in our previous lecture we talked about event bubbling, and in this one we're going to talk about event delegation, which is kind of opposite of event bubbling. So if event bubbling bubbles up in the DOM, event delegation delegates actually events down within the DOM, so down to its children. So let's type in here comment event delegation, and well, let me just define it really quickly for you. Event delegation takes advantage of event propagation and so allows the event listeners to be set on the parent element, thus avoiding adding event listener to specific nodes. The event listeners analyzes bubbled events to match itself or any children elements to pass to an event handler. So this is being very cool and pretty nicely said, but what does this actually mean? So let me give you an example without an event delegation. So let's say we have a const of check. We're going to try and check all of the items, and not only trying to check, but do something with them. So let's see. Let's create a check items actually, and let's grab onto document, query select, and let's see what this has. And I just had a class of item. Okay, so let me grab onto this class. Now let's go down here and let's say, let me actually open up the console. So console, do we need the console? Yeah, we do need it. So if I do this, let's see what we'll get. Console log. If I would now check an item, so check item dot add event listener, and we're going to listen for a click. And when this click happens, we're going to run our function of check items, and let's say we want then to console log items are checked. Okay, so let's try this out. If I click on this item, nothing happens. If I click on this one, nothing happens. If I click on the first one, item is checked. Because you know that query selector, this is why I didn't want to show you this, only selects the first one. Only selects the very first item. So if I would console log this, you can see I'm only getting the first item. If I would do query selector all, and let me actually comment this out, save it, I would get this node list. Okay, so we now say, yeah, great. So we could actually check all of them. So let's see if I comment this back in. Well, it prompts me with an error. Add event lister is not a function. And this is because now I'm getting a node list. Let me first of all comment this back in. And I would need to loop through each of the items. I'm getting an array, so I would need to say first item, loop through each of them using a for each loop, and add an event listener. But this is where event delegation actually comes into play. So let's comment this part out, and also this one. Okay, so now I need to grab onto the parent. Let's create another const, and let's say this was check. Let me change it to check item, and this will be check items, the second one. And now we'll grab onto document.query selector, and let's grab onto this container, because this is actually in the container of these items in the UL. Okay, so they are contained by the UL with a class of check all. So now if I would console log check items, I will get the entire UL. Now let's add an event listener to check items, and we want to listen to a click again. And when this happens, I'm going to create here a name function, check all items. The function check all items should be run. So let's create this function, check all items, and this will go on first of all to an event. And let me actually show you something. So console log e.target. Okay, so if I'm clicking on this one and hovering over it, it actually logs me what I have targeted. If I'm clicking on this one, then it logs this. So I added an event listener to the entire class, which is wrapped around these items. Then this delegates down this event listener of click, which then grabs onto this function, check all items, which then logs exactly the targeted item. So I would take this out actually and just click within here. I would get this mouse move and everything that I did. Okay, so this is why we need this target, so we know what we're actually targeting. Now let's say I want to grab on, let me show this again, target, I'm clicking within here, I'm getting the input tag with this checkbox. But if we take a look in our up here in our entire check all items, and we can see that this is a list, is an unordered list with list items, and each list item has an input tag and a label. Okay, so we have this input and a label. And if I'm clicking now, so take a look down here, if I'm clicking on the label, this will log me the label. If I'm clicking on the input box, this will log the, if I'm clicking on the checkbox, then this would log the input. Okay, but the parent of this two is actually the li. So I clicked to the right of it or to the left of it. Actually, this stops right here. So to the right of it, I'm now getting the li, which contains this two. So let's say if I want to click here within the input, which is a child of the li, how can I grab on to the li? So instead of logging the input tag, I want to log the li. And the li is actually the parent of the input tag. So e.target.parent element should now actually give me the parent element. So if I click on the input on the checkbox here, now I'm getting the li. Also, if I would click, let me refresh this, if I would click on the label, this will still give me the parent element because the input and the label are both on the same level of childhood. They're both children of this li, so they both will log the li. Okay, so now let's say I want to remove something. If I would say now e.target, then .remove, and this is a method. So when I click on something, the event that which is targeted will be removed. So let's say if I click on the label here on the item 5, it will be removed. And if I click on the checkbox, then this will be removed. Click on the input, the checkbox, this will be removed. Label, this will be removed. When we refresh, they will be back again. But I want actually to click in this input an entire li to be removed. So as we saw up here, we actually want to target then the parent element when we want to remove something like this. So could we do e.parent element dot remove? Let's see what happens. Yep, this is also working. But also if I click on the label, it removes the parent element. So I don't actually want this. I want that when I click on the checkbox, that entire parent should be removed. Not when I click on the label. This is just dumb. So how can we achieve this? Let's create a verification. So if the event that we targeted, so e.target class list dot contains. So actually, let me show you what class list has within it. Just log e dot target. Let me replace it here. Here we could replace it. Let me go in here. Console log dot target, and we'll comment all of this out. So if I click within here, it now gives me the list of check. And if I click here, it doesn't have any kind of class. So the list, the class list gives me this list, this check class that the checkbox has. So we will check now if the target has a class, so contains the class of check. Contains is also a method. So if this is true, then we want the e.target dot parent element to be removed. Okay, so let's try this out. If I click on the label, nothing happens. If I click on the checkbox now, then I made a mistake. Wait just a second. E.target class list contains check class list. Then e.target parent element should be removed. And it says that is not a function. Why is that? Okay, I mistyped something. So let's try this again. E.target parent element removed. So if I click on the label, nothing happens. If I click in the checkbox, then the element is removed. Okay guys, so this is pretty much it for event delegation. Hope this was pretty explanatory. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.